Welcome everyone to Philip Coutinho's favourite football podcast, the Only Fans Football Podcast. On this week's pod, the lads discuss the ongoing situation in Sierra Leone. The lads chat about the things they'd do if they won the lotto. Also included is an AFCON themed Hall of Fame and a New Year's resolution themed Get It Out. We hope you enjoy the podcast wherever you're listening, and be sure to check out our Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter and TikTok. Take it easy.
My spidey senses tell me this is gonna get fucking tasty, baby.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Here's a slice of cheese vinegar, GS Sopless.
I have a dream.
Arnie, cut!
Battler.
The fella in the green and white shirt.
The guys up in the joy have asked to be put back in their cells.
If you stop waffling, we might get some work done.
He has the go blood. He has the go blood.
Get out! Get out, Man United!
Origi! Torres to give Chelsea a place in the Shane Long has done it!
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
Is that your fucking spice?
My grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
I think I'm a special one.
I'm the normal one.
I never knew Stoke were that good.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Only Fans Football Podcast for the fans, by the fans. This episode is proudly called the Rafa Benitez. Adzi, anything to say?
The Rafa Benitez, I think it's only fitting for him. I think when Ollie got sacked, we named it Donny van de Beek because I think Donny scored that weekend. So we could have named it like the Luca Dean or something, but everything are playing on.
We're so critical, aren't we? Like naming episodes of people that have been sacked. Like, for fuck's sake.
And we could have named the Luca Dean, but everything are playing Aston Villa this weekend, crap. So I think that's going to be the talking point. Oh, we're bollocks. We're awful people. But career Cran. How was your week?
Quite eventful, lads. Quite eventful.
I want to tell people where we are at the minute, Cran, actually.
Oh, yeah. We're in our respective houses. Adzi's in the Potato Wad studio. I'm in the Studio 250, site of where the podcast was supposed to be today. Until last night, an event happened. And do you know what? It all started on Friday in Mimas, Adzi's favourite destination to drink. And you know what? It was hopping, to be fair. It was a nice few drinks with the boys. And listen, we had a great time. We had a great laugh. Left at 8, which is shite, but you know, is what it is. And then Saturday was in work, acting the bollocks. And then we went, me, myself and Philly went to do the lotto, as I'm sure we're going to talk about in the near future. But we went down to Fisborough to do the lotto. I went into today as local. Dodgy tickets being sold there. Don't know, I probably wouldn't have won even if I won. You know, that way. It was like a bit of a scam.
Oh man, they were just printing extra tickets just to get money.
Last night, which was the final night of the story, I came home, played a bit of pro clubs, went downstairs, felt a bit nasally, did an antigen test, was positive. So I'm absolutely riddled at the moment, and that is why we are here in our respective destinations. Adzi, how was your week?
Yeah, not bad, man. And just to veto this, by the way, real quick, I was really looking forward to this morning because it's a lovely morning now, and we were going to get, against your best wishes, we were going to get like a McDonald's breakfast.
Oh, no, we weren't.
And we were. I was gonna bully you into it. But the toffee latte, shout out to McDonald's for them because it's the only good thing out of the place. But and the chicken nuggets, sorry. But I had a grand week, man, to be honest. It was just another quiet week. This dry January. Do you know what? I'm actually feeling the better for it, but you kind of do miss the social aspect of things in the sense of like you don't realise how much of your time you spend drinking until you're on your own every weekend with Dave watching the football. And in fairness, it was a good weekend of football, which we will of course touch on. But I didn't really do an awful lot this week. I had a lot of Mexican food, funny enough. So I was out in the Swords Pavilions And there's some Mexican burrito bar out there that I've never seen in my life. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get a burrito. And they put black beans on instead of pinto beans, so it's kind of a bit sour over that. Yeah, and then Dave was off work on Saturday, a rare occasion. So it was like a little mate day all day. We just went out with Marks and we went to get we stumbled across a Mexican restaurant called El Grito, which for anyone listening is on Mountjoy Square. And you do need a booking for it. So if you are going, like try and book it in advance. But man, best burrito I've ever had in Dublin. Absolutely go it. 100% go to it if you're that way inclined towards burritos. But yeah, good weekend was had. Watched the NFL. Watched a lot of the NFL. For any Americans listening, Buffalo Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year, Cran. I know you were not too fussed with it, but
Buffalo Bills, man.
Buffalo Bills. Josh
They're
Allen,
going all the way.
better than his brother Joe Allen, who famously played for Liverpool. But yeah, not a bad week overall. I watched a lot of AFCON as well, which we'll touch on after a while. Cran, you said something there about the lotto, and something went down well last week. The little icebreaker we had about the darts walk-ons, and I think it's a good way to start the podcast every week. It's like a little something topical. Like let's talk about the news, and we don't want to be doomy and gloomy because January is an awful time for most. It's just January blues kicking in or whatever. And speaking about Ireland in general, it's been an awful week. The lotto came around on Saturday, and it felt like every man, woman, and dog had put the lotto on. So I put it to the OnlyFans faithful to say, what would you do if you won the lotto?
Wow.
I'm just going over to this now, Cran. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I do.
So, Cran, what would you do if you won the lotto, my friend? Before we touch on other people's ones, what would you do?
Funny enough, we were actually having this discussion the night of the lotto in work. You know, it was so topical. It was so, the hype was there. I know what I do, Adzi. I go straight onto Skyscanner, book a flight to the Barbados, and I'd order a pina colada when I arrive in the airport. And then I'd walk to the beach. It'll take about 2 hours, but I'd walk to the beach with my pina colada. Be happy out.
It's very, like, I mean, you haven't really thought long term, and anyways, you're definitely just thinking short term there, aren't you?
What's the point, Adzi? What's the point?
Well,
I
mean,
Benitez was thinking long term. He got sacked.
Yeah, but Rafa was a secret agent. Like, he's after getting a 2.5-year payoff, so he is after winning the lotto in a sense.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna say what other people would do with the money if they won the lotto before I say mine, Cran, if that's all right.
Yeah, go on.
So as per usual, the OnlyFans faithful coming in clutch. We have some sensible ones and we have some spoof ones. So I'll start off with the sensible one. Shout out to Nathan for this. So Nathan was like, right, so I'd pay the mortgage, leave his job, invest his money, I suppose, in like real estate, because I mean, that's what I do. He said he'd travel long term. And Nathan, of course, is DJ, said he'd buy loads of music equipment. And I think that's fairly sensible. We have Philly who says, geez, Philly's getting loads of clout this week. Philly says he'd buy out Harry Maguire's contract and sell the port down. So, I mean, I don't really know how that would work, because if you're buying out someone's contract, you can't sell them. So, Philly, fuck you, you're wrong.
It's a fucking human trafficking job. Like,
it's just selling Harry Maguire. Selling Harry Maguire the person, not the footballer. We have Rory here. Rory goes, he'd quit his job and open up an Irish language and vinyl coffee shop in Stony Bar. Oh, that's a cracker. And to be fair, if there isn't already one in Stony Bar, there probably will be by the end of the year. I'll end on this one from the OnlyFans faithful from Ian, and you'll get a giggle out of this. He said, give you whatever amount of money you need to get Eamon Dunphy on the podcast.
Very selfish of him.
Yeah, it's like that, to be fair to him. And just to end the lotto chat, Cran, I'm going to end with what I do. And to be honest with you, I think the lads put in some good shit there. And mine's quite reasonable, I suppose, in comparison. But I would probably just invest in a lot of real estate and buy a lot of crypto. And I wouldn't tell anybody I won the lotto. Like, I'd keep it. I'd donate to charity as well. And then I'd probably buy a stake in Shells, which probably wouldn't be, I wouldn't imagine is, well, it probably is expensive. I don't know. The last thing I would do is I'd buy a signed Divock Origi shirt from the man himself. Like I would email him, I'd email him. Jesus, I'm not millennial. I would text him on Instagram and I'd be like, Divock, what's the crack, mate? Just won 90 million on the Euros, on the Euro Millions even. I'll give you whatever you want for a signed jersey. And he'd probably give me a pair of boots as well. So yeah, that's what I would do if I was alone.
Oh God, everyone! It's a sad existence, isn't it?
Moving on now swiftly to the Premier League. The weekend was back, and there's a good few talking points. To be fair, right? So the Friday night football: Brighton won, Crystal Palace won. Cran, I know you're in emails, and you probably got home for the second half. I'd imagine, did you?
Yeah.
And it was the late show from Brighton again. It was a Joaquin Anderson own goal.
And from Ryan Tuberty again, I heard.
Ryan Tuberty, man, I swear, through all of COVID, he's just made it worse. Like, the country's on its knees, and he's like, yeah, we're on our fucking knees here. It's like, Jesus, Ryan, lighten up the mood, will you?
Bring in Tommy Turner.
Tommy Turnan's goal as well. But, yeah, moving on to another goal, Conor Gallagher. Another goal for him, another impressive performance.
What a finish.
Yeah. And do you know what? I seen the goal there, and he couldn't have placed it better. Like, it was the only part of the goal that he could have put it in for it to go in, and it was just a wonderful goal. Really, he's a cracking player. Will we move on now to the Saturday games?
The Saturday games, yeah, very interesting Saturday it was, because
it was actually, to be fair.
It started with City Chelsea.
Yeah.
City at home in the Etihad.
Shout out to Jim Beglin. Did you see that video of Jim Beglin?
Did he say
it? Yeah, he didn't mean it. He literally goes, I don't know what he said, but he was like, he christened it the Empty Had, which is obviously is a popular meme, but to hear a commentator say it's a bit bad.
It's a bit fucking disgraceful, isn't it?
Oh, great, be fuming. But I mean, if the slipper fits.
But yeah, it was a 1-0 win for City. Kevin De Bruyne. I was watching this game in work, the last half hour of it. I thought, you know what? I watched the highlights back as well. I thought Kevin De Bruyne and City were excellent. First of all, I thought they just played us off the park, dominated the game. No doubt about it. Like, they were much better prepared. I think I said it in the chat as well. Sharpen was sharper. I said, but I meant passing was sharper, and dribbling was sharper than Chelsea, and they just played them off the park. They just looked better organised. Chelsea again weren't aggressive enough, and playing a 5 at the back formation when you're missing your two main fullbacks. You know, Reece James, Chilwell out injured. You're playing the likes of Alonso, Aspilicueta who don't have the legs. And do you know what, man? I really don't think the front three deserve any plaudits at all. They were absolutely woeful in the game, the Chelsea front three.
Yeah, I have written down here about Tuchel's selection actually. I think in a game away at City, when you want to be aggressive, sorry for interrupting you, when you want to be aggressive and you pick Ziyech and Pulisic, I thought I was baffled by now, to be honest.
It was rubbish, and they were rubbish. I thought Ziyech was particularly bad. Pulisic bad as well, but Ziyech. But there was one stage you could play Lukaku in, and he hit the ball so hard. The weight of the pass was so hard it ended up straight into the keeper's arms. Like, come on, he's an attacking midfielder, and he's spraying it into the keeper's arms instead of playing the weight of pass that's desired. I don't think the service for Lukaku was good, and I don't think Lukaku was good as well. I think he's very arrogant. He walks around like he's holier than thou, but he doesn't do much on the pitch. The end of the game, he was shaking hands. He was doing the handshake with Kevin De Bruyne, and I was absolutely fuming at that. Like,
a lot of people are.
You lose 1-0 away to City in a crunch game, and you look happy about it, and that just shows, you know, he's not worth it. I'd sell him in the summer. I know that's very reactionary of me, but I get someone who actually wants to play for Chelsea and wants to give their 100% and cares about the team rather than themselves. You know, I get Broja in or even Tammy Abraham back, because I honestly think that's valued more than Lukaku going out there and giving a half-hour's performance. But yeah, that's my two takes on it anyway.
Yeah, I think I actually, just while you said Broja there real quick, I seen a story earlier that it looks like Southampton are going to be buying him. So that could be that'd be a great sign. He's been great for Southampton, but yeah, I think Tuchel's selection really was a bit of a mad one. We've seen games with Tuchel and Guardiola the past year and a bit, and Tuchel's come out on top for the most part, like in the FA Cup semi-final and the Champions League final, of course. And even in the Etihad, funnily enough, last season towards just before the semi-final, I think the thing with Tuchel sometimes is he tries to spring a surprise on Pep. You know what I mean? I remember in the game in the Etihad against City, I think he threw Alonso in out of nowhere, and I was like, Jesus, this is mad. And Alonso scored, of course, and Chelsea won. Gilmore played. You know, Champions League final. You know, I think that's probably Chelsea's best lineup to an extent. And I was baffled by Ziyech playing. Whatever about Pulisic, I am a bit of a fan of Pulisic. I think when he's on form, he's very, very, very good. And he's proven it before for Chelsea, but the inclusion of Ziyech just baffled me. I think you have Mount, you have Werner, you have Havertz on the bench, and they all have to be knocking on Tuchel's door going, why aren't we playing? You know what I mean? I think in a game against City, you need to be aggressive. And I just don't. I think Ziyech just pounces around as if he doesn't want to be there sometimes.
Yeah.
And he is a very graceful player. He is a very good player, but it just looked like he didn't want to be there. Just regarding City, they're just so good. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're just unplayable at times. And whatever about Chelsea not being aggressive enough or whatever, I think the way City play kind of stops Chelsea playing as well to an extent. And I just think City were just so much better on the day.
Rodri was excellent.
Rodri unbelievable. I think for me he was match fully enough. Yeah. But yeah, they were just so good. I actually thought Sarr for Chelsea against Sterling was very good as well. I thought he performed well. But look at Chelsea missing a few players, like Chilwell and James. But to be honest, I just think City are on a roll now. They're just a juggernaut. And yeah, I don't think even the best of teams could get near them at the minute.
Yeah, they're romping home. And just quickly on the point you made about the front three and Werner, Havertz and Mount knocking at the door. I think, you know what, those players on the pitch that day, Ziyech, Pulisic and Lukaku, if you look at City in comparison, they were very much more aggressive, very much more intense in the press, pressing our back five all the time. Those players didn't work hard enough in that front three. I think the likes of Mount, Havertz and Werner, if you're going to play a press and you want to beat City, Werner in behind the high line as well would have been perfect selection. But you know what? What's done is done. We move on.
Wolves 3, Southampton 1. Kind of immediate thoughts. And when I say immediate thoughts, why are you only thinking about Ward-Prowse's free kick? That's all I'm thinking about. What a free kick. What a hit.
Ward-Prowse's free kick to make it 2-1 to Wolves and Southampton still lose. But no, I think he's an absolutely excellent free kick taker. And even midfielder, I'd take him at Chelsea because he's very creative. And even his set pieces alone are worth its weight in gold. You know, I think having that player to take set pieces every corner, every free kick, it's a big advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his free kick was honestly an unbelievable hit. Like you usually see with his free kicks, he tends to hit it the near side over the wall with his right foot.
Yeah.
This one he just smashed it to the opposite side of the keeper, and you could see Jose Sa was lining up for that kind of near post kind of free kick in the sense where he shuffled across to his right, and as the ball's being hit on him, it just swerves away from. And great hit.
I actually think, sorry, just to cut across there. I actually think Rafinha had a similar one there at the weekend. Didn't go in, but that was a very good free kick as well. It was
hit the crossbar. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and he gets Dave patented. I'd have him at Liverpool. We'll be watching any game of football, and Dave will go, "He's a great player. I'd have him at Liverpool. Any player." Yeah, and James Ward-Prowse gets that stamp of approval from Dave. But yeah, other than that, good win for Wolves. I think scoring more than one goal in the game for Wolves is a big achievement. It was Jimenez scored a penalty after. I think it was Podence got absolutely speared out of his jocks. Connor Cody got a little scrappy goal there to make it 2-0. And damn it, Traore, Cran. finally scores. Adama Traore. Look, we've touched on him before. He's not a bad player, but he's not a good player either. He's kind of that in between. He's incredibly average.
That's an overstatement in my opinion. He's not incredibly average. But you know what? We'll move on from that.
Move on. Newcastle won, Watford won. Cran, what do you think?
You know what? I was looking at the highlights of this game, and I have to say, despite the signing of Chris Wood and Kieran Trippier, Newcastle still look fucking dreadful, man. They're awful.
Oh man, they're so bad. They're relegated, man. They're relegated. I think them and Norwich are gone. And look, we'll talk about Burnley real quick now. They have about 6 games in hand. I think they could be in trouble as well. But yeah, I think Newcastle are just dreadful, man. They're just shy, to be honest. I think St. Maxim's goal was lovely.
Yeah.
Jinx past 1 or 2 players, smashes it into the bottom corner, and that's when you look at Alan St. Maxim and you go, "That's very good." And you're like, "That's what we need." But what he'll do in a game is he'll dribble loads, and he won't pass it, or he'll shoot and it goes wide. But that 1 out of 10 times that he does it and scores, it's like, what a player. He is a very good player, but I think he's still very raw.
You're saying he should let the ball go quicker.
Yeah, I think he just holds on to it too much. You know what I mean? And like, I could imagine being a Newcastle fan and watching them and loving them and absolutely hating them all at one time. Yeah. I'd say it's very frustrating at times, but it was a great goal by him. And then the goal Watford scored, Joe Pedro, a header. Great cross from Kiko Femina. And yeah, Watford won all the way away from home. That's a good result for them. The big game of the Saturday, Norwich 2, Everton 1. Cran. I'm gonna let you lead here, because if I start, I won't stop.
That's fair enough. Well, firstly, I'll touch on Norwich because I know you want to slay Everton. But yeah, I think Norwich in the game, to give them credit, they looked a lot better. From what I've seen, I thought Hanley defended well. He had a good game. And I think Ida, especially Adam Ida, they were analysing my match of the day as well. And it's good to see an Irish player get a game and doing well. I was happy to see him make good runs and get goals and be the hold-up player that maybe Norwich needs.
Yeah, he's a very good player, I think, from an Irish standpoint. If you're Stephen Kenny, you want to see him play more. And I think if he was to play more for Norwich and get the odd goal or whatever, it'd be great for Ireland. But I just don't think Norwich will stay up, to be honest. I think themselves and Newcastle are dead in the war. But look at in saying that, for Norwich to be beating Everton, it's a massive shock. Like, you know what I mean? It's very poor from Everton. We'll just move on because Rafa gets sacked, and the Everton board are absolutely off their head. Just real quick about the Everton board. So, Farhad Mashiri's been with Everton since February 2016, and since then they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 managers, 6 managers in Roberto Martinez, Ronald Koeman, Sam Allardyce, Marco Silva, Carlo Ancelotti, and Rafa Benitez. If you're an Everton fan, you probably feel a bit hard done by with Carlo Ancelotti, because started the season last season, they were unbelievable, and coming into this season, you would have expected them to be moving on. The likes of James, Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison. You would have been expecting a kind of a boom period from Everton, a boomish period from Everton. Obviously, Ancelotti goes to Real Madrid and they appoint Rafael Benitez, former Liverpool manager. It was a bad appointment, to appoint an ex-Liverpool manager, ex-Chelsea manager as well, funny enough, but a Liverpool manager is held in such high regard by Liverpool fans. It was never going to go well. But they've backed Rafa. They've backed him the whole time. They gave him everything he wanted. After spending 30 million on 2 fullbacks for Benitez, Patterson of Rangers and Mikalenko, I think, of Dynamo Kiev is where they got him from. So they're definitely backing him. Rafa, he got rid of the director of football. He got rid of the medical director at Everton. Now they've sacked him. And to be honest, I'm not surprised they sacked him based off the results, based off Norwich beating Everton, based off Brentford beating Everton, based off losing 5-2 to Watford at home. Josh King hat-trick against Everton. Liverpool beating Everton 4-1 on December the 1st, my birthday. It's all built up to this. Mashiri cannot back Benitez the way he's backed him and then sack him. Rafa's part of the problem, but Mashiri is the problem. And it's just incompetent owners and people who run in the club. You know, it's been well documented. I'm not a big fan of everything, but I do empathise with them here because this is shocking.
Yeah.
It's awful. They've had cracking managers come in and leave, come and go, and it's mad. Like, and look, if you're an Everton fan, I don't really feel for you, to be honest, but it is a tough time. And he came into Everton in the shambles and he's left them much worse. And I just don't know where to go from here. I genuinely don't know where to go from here. Everton don't know the meaning of losing, so they'll be back, I suppose.
One bright spot, I don't want to be giving Everton fans the January blues as well, so I'll say this. One bright spot that has come from the Rafa Benitez hiring is probably Anthony Gordon. I've watched him a few times and he's playing well, so it'd be interesting to see how he does, but he even could move on if the club's in a shambles, you know? That's what you'd be worried about.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, just the way the club's run, and it's not Rafa's fault, you know what I mean? It was a horrible hand he was dealt. The likes of Mashiri and the investment he's made has been shocking, to be honest with you. And look, it's going to be it's going to be a long rebuild for everything. And I said it last week jokingly about Liverpool's FA Cup team that 9 of the 11 weren't alive when Everton last won the trophy. Like that the gap's only going to get bigger. You know what I mean?
We move on.
Absolutely. Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 2. The return of Felipe Coutinho to the Premier League. Grant, what do you think?
I thought it was unbelievable. The impact he made off the bench. Watching as a neutral, I know United fans would be fuming, because Liverpool United, they sort of clash horns, you know. So they'd be fuming that and saying
just the odd time.
I thought Coutinho was absolutely phenomenal. The impact he made, especially come back to the Premier League. I think the first 2 goals, United were in complete control of the game with that Bruno brace. They were in complete control of the game. And as soon as Coutinho came on, he was linking up brilliant with Ramsey, I think.
Yeah.
Linking up brilliant with him. He's a young fella who looks like a very promising player now. And if they can
he's been good all season.
If they can get them 2 linking up regularly, you know, they will be a threat. So I thought he did well for the assist. Beautiful goal from Coutinho as well.
Yeah, just touch on Jacob Ramsey and Coutinho there. Both with a goal and assist. So they both complemented each other very well. He did look like he missed a step, did he, when he came on? He was a definite game changer, and I think United weren't really on top for most of the game. I think there was a period in the first half just after they scored where Aston Villa couldn't get out of their half. But apart from that, I thought Aston Villa kind of dealt well with United. You know, Bruno played unbelievably well for United up to a point. I think he was taken off, actually. His first goal, touch of, you know, the football karma off it with the ball going through Martinez's legs. But the second goal was immense, off the bar and in.
Yeah.
You know, he is, on his day, Bruno, he is one of the best about. But great finish from him. But it's all about Coutinho, isn't it? I think he comes on and he just changes the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just everything. He was just proactive. He was aggressive. You know, he could have had a second goal, and I think it was actually Ramsey who got in front of him for it. But okay, good point for Villa.
What I like about him as well is as soon as he comes in, I was watching his interview as well, and the attitude of him as well. Compared to the likes of Lukaku, he's saying, I'm looking forward to working with these players like Ramsey and players that are here, the younger players. And that's something that I want from Lukaku. But it's annoying.
I feel just from Coutinho, we said it last week, kind of lost his way at Barcelona. He kind of lost confidence, whatever. And I think under Stevie G, Stevie G can light a fire on them. And Luka Dean as well, actually. I thought he played very well, funnily enough. I was going to say about Luka Dean as well. Remember I said before he had a "You'll Never Walk Alone" tattooed across his chest.
Oh, yeah.
Or his arm, I think it is. Either his arm or his chest. And he said he didn't support Liverpool. And then the first sniff of playing under Stevie G left.
I mean, we'll move on to the Sunday game.
I'm not going to do it too much because you're feeling under the weather, so I don't want to irritate you more.
my bones are literally aching. That'll like amplify it.
Oh God, what game do you want to start off with, Grant?
I'd like to start with the 2:00 kickoff, the West Ham Leeds game. I thought this was a cracker Jack.
Very good.
Great game from Jack Harrison. I thought Leeds actually showed up for once. It was very surprising because they've been on and off all season, and maybe a few players at the back coming in. And
Stroke and Cock were very good at the back.
The first goal went in from Jack Harrison. I think it was a tap in, wasn't it? It was a
no. The first goal was I think it was passed back from Adam Forshaw, and he kind of curled it into the top corner, was it?
Oh yeah.
The second was a tap in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought he was excellent. It was nice to see him get a hat trick. In the right place at the right time. Luke Lane got the header from the corner, and it was an easy tap in for the second goal, and then the third one, good finish as well. I thought touch on West Ham quickly. Jared Bowen looked very good, and it'd be interesting to see now. He was good midweek as well. Will he get an England call up?
Yeah, I think he's sitting on 9 goals and 8 assists this season in the Premier League for West Ham, which is very impressive. He's a very good player, and I know I tend to say a lot, but Klopp was interested in him a while ago during the summer, and I remember a lot of Liverpool fans going, "Oh, we don't want that, we don't want that." And that's fair enough. You know, you can have your opinion on players, but I think if a player like Jared Bowen is gone, and based on the form he's in at the minute, I'd absolutely love him at Liverpool. Just to go back and Leeds real quick, the Leeds bench was great. I thought it was an unbelievable bench, and it really showed up Arsenal. It really showed them up for bottling the North London derby. So the Leeds bench included a 15-year-old, 4 19-year-olds, 2 18-year-olds, a 21-year-old, and Rodrigo. And 2 young fellas came on. It was Lewis Bate came over. Forshaw went down with, I think it was like some kind of strain. And Lewis Bate was very good. You had Leo Helge, who came on for Firpo. What a name, by the way. And he was very impressive as well. And I just think it's a testament to Leeds. We talked about it a while ago. It was funny enough when they played Arsenal and they had 9 senior players available.
Yeah.
It's very good from Leeds, and very impressive. And it's a good win. And Jack Harrison, again, I think we're talking about Jared Bowen getting a call up. I do think Harrison could be due a call up as well, because he's a very good player in my opinion.
Maybe. You think Leeds are safe, yeah?
It's hard to say. Like I think the good thing for Leeds and Everton as well, funnily enough, is that there's Burnley, Norwich, and Newcastle, and I can't see any of them picking up many points. Especially Burnley after losing Chris Wood, and seemingly they're linked with Andy Carroll now. But
Dyche lost his Wood.
Yeah, but I think the good thing for the likes of Everton and Leeds is there's significantly 3 worse teams than them. And I just think they'll pick up more points than they will. So, yeah, I think Leeds are probably safe, yeah.
We move on to Liverpool versus Brentford.
Yeah. Liverpool 3, Brentford 0. Sunday kickoff, 2:00 as well. I'd say Sky were fuming that was on at 2, so they only had one game to show.
Yeah.
But the goals came from Fabinho, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Takumi Minamino. I thought Brentford were very poor. They didn't create an awful lot. The only kind of half chance they had was when Matt misplaced the pass and Tony took a shot from like 30 yards out and it skimmed the post. Actually, they had a good chance in the second half as well. Mbeumo dispossessed. Curtis Jones went in and hit it wide. But other than that, they kind of lacked real threat going forward. Oxlade-Chamberlain, you texted me last night, Cran, saying, Jesus, the Ox was good yesterday. It's a bit of an anomaly. It's very easy for matches to pull up a little highlight package.
Yeah.
A little 30-second highlights and like he played very well. But when you're actually looking at the game, he was very selfless off the ball and did a lot of running in behind. And even when he wasn't getting the pass, he was still doing it. But I don't know. I just don't think he's good enough. And it sounds awful. I do like him. Good win overall for Liverpool. I think 3-0 at home to Brentford. If you had offered me that before the game started, I'd have bitten your hand off. But yeah, good win. I still think we're missing Thiago in the midfield. We're missing someone to set the tempo, but I think when Salah and Mane come back, and even Origi, I think we'll be firing again. But yeah, delighted with the win, 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, so City finished the game week 9 points ahead of Liverpool, 13 ahead of Chelsea. They look unstoppable, Adzi. I think you'd agree.
Yeah.
And it's happened
absolutely.
for the second straight year. Our goal of the week.
There's only one, surely, isn't there? There's only one goal.
JWP.
Yeah, absolutely. James Ward-Prowse's free kick. It was just unbelievable. To be honest, it was very good.
Our God of the week.
I'm going to give my God of the week to Agent Rafa Benitez.
Oh my God.
For leaving everything in the state that he's left them in.
I'm going to give my God of the week to Jared Bowen. I think he was excellent in the 2 games we played this week.
If I'm to give a serious God of the week, I'll give it to Jack Harrison because I do really rate him.
All right.
He's a good player. I've always said it to him. I do like him.
This fella Ronaldo is a cod.
And our God of the week this week is
Farhad Mashiri.
Everton board. Put Everton into a shit position, and it's all down to Farhad Mashiri. He's just such an incompetent owner, and the reason why Everton are so poisonous at the minute is down to him really. And I think Rafa, we said it earlier. Thanks for the memories. But I think the deeper root problem is with Mashiri and the Everton board. So, yeah, that's why Mashiri, who gave Rafa all the backing in the world and then sacked him, is our God of the week. Moving on now to our AFCON-themed Hall of Fame crown. And I say that because we both picked AFCON submissions this week. So do you want to give your Hall of Fame submission, or will I do a quick rundown of the AFCON?
Adzi, I'm going to give it to the referee from the Mali-Tunisia game. What a man. You know, he wanted a few bob and he blew up the game 5 minutes early. It's great to see.
It was an unbelievable game. So essentially, it was absolute chaos. So the VAR review gives for a penalty, and the referee gives it and the penalty's missed. He blows up then at 85 minutes. To which everyone goes, hold on, what the fuck is going on? He restarts the game and then ends the game. Restarts the game, right? And the player gets sent off. The VAR says no to him and he still sends the player off. And then he blows for full time at 89 minutes. Tunisia, of course, got mad because they lost 1-0. And then the referee was like, we will resume play. And all the players were like, no, there's like 3 minutes left. So, yeah, good shout this week, Ron.
A great referee that defied the laws of the game. What a man. Your Hall of Fame, man.
Oh, my God. Funnily enough, the reason given as to why the referee blew the whistle early was because he was suffering from sunstroke, seemingly. I'm going to give my Hall of Fame crown this week to one Stephen Colker of Sierra Leone.
An ongoing narrative.
Just for anyone who's been watching AFCON, and I know we've been kind of looking at it, Sierra Leone have been kind of the team of the tournament so far. They've been unbeaten against Algeria, who of course are the reigning champions, and a 2-2 draw yesterday with Ivory Coast, which was probably a bit controversial. So Sangare, the keeper, kind of fucked the game away. The ball was hooped up to him, and I don't know, whichever way he took the ball, he fell on top of the ball, threw the ball out to none other than Stephen Colker, who passed the ball in, and Sierra Leone scored. A great assist from Stephen Colker and a great performance in the first game against Algeria to keep it 0-0 himself, and Kamara in goal. The goalkeeper made 7 saves for Sierra Leone against Algeria, and then of course Stephen Colker's assist against Ivory Coast was very good. And yeah, AFCON's been very good, man. Very enjoyable.
The pitch was awful though. It was like watching, the over 90s football in Father's Head. And it's like it was just bobbling all around the place. It was a terrible pitch. Man. I feel bad for the players because I know some of the pitches at AFCON are really in really good nick. And
yeah,
that game specifically was played on that bad pitch. I don't know where it is. exactly in Cameroon, but I know it's
Yeah.
affected a couple of teams now. I think the Algeria game as well was affected by
Yeah.
that pitch.
Yeah, and you know what it is? Algeria have kind of been the team who have been like really underwhelmed in this tournament.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're saying, but our friends over in Equatorial Guinea beat Algeria 1-0, and that ended Algeria's 35 game unbeaten run. 39 months the kind of unbeaten run lasted. So Algeria have been poor, and yeah, I mean some of the pitches aren't been great, Nick, but it's still been very good. Cameroon are top of their group in Group A with 6 points. Vincent Abubakar with 4 goals so far. They've been immense. Shout out to Pico Lopez as well of Shamrock Rovers. Cape Verde find themselves on 3 points at the minute. We move on to Group B, which has Guinea on 4 points, Senegal also on 4 points, Malawi on 3, Zimbabwe on 0. Naby Keita has won 2 man of the matches in a row for Guinea. He's been very impressive. And just looking at Senegal briefly, they're struggling to score, but they also haven't conceded. So, I mean, they're doing all right, I suppose, but they haven't been hitting that kind of form that people thought they would. Group C, real quick, Morocco find themselves on 6 points, a 1-0 win against Ghana and a 2-0 win against Comoros. Again, they haven't conceded yet, so they've been on good form. Ghana have been very poor, which is a bit shocking, but it is what it is. Group D sees Nigeria on 6 points at the minute. They've been immense so far. They've been one of the better teams. I think they'll probably get to the final. They've been that good. Moses Simon of Nantes has been very impressive. Our 2 boys, Kelechi and Nacho, and Toyo Awaniyi have been very good as well. They both have been scoring for Nigeria. And then Egypt, Mo Salah got off the mark against Guinea-Bissau, and you fancy Egypt and Nigeria to go through. Group F sees Gambia on 4 points, Mali on 4 points, Tunisia on 3. Tunisia feeling quite aggrieved, I suppose, with the game against Mali, but we've gone through that. So, yeah, that's our AFCON kind of roundup real quick. To tie in with the Hall of Fame, my Hall of Fame this week is Stephen Colker of Sierra Leone. Cran,
Yeah,
your
my
Hall of Fame
is the referee from Mali versus Tunisia.
Yeah, great show. Moving on now, Cran, to Euro Treasure and Euro Trash. Cran, hit me with your Euro Trash, baby.
Joan Jordan hit on head with pole in Sevilla derby.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I've seen that, yeah.
Betis were playing Sevilla. I've been there myself. I do like Betis more than Sevilla. The night of the game, I think it was played on a Saturday night. I was watching it. And then next thing you know, I wake up on Sunday, it's still being played. I'm like, this must be the longest day in football ever. But then I looked it up a bit further, and Joan Jordan of Sevilla was hit brutally by a 20 centimetre pole on the face. This is despicable behaviour by the Real Betis fans. Like, we've talked about it before, and the fans are great for the game, whatever. You know, we missed them after COVID. But when shit like this is happening, it proves that there are bad parts of the fans as well. And what they did to your man is terrible. And of course, no justice served. Betis still won the game 2-1.
I know we're after being giggling at it, but I do think it's something that's not acceptable. Like, you know what I mean? I think you're going to a game of football to follow the game, you know what I mean? Not to abuse players, but yeah, such is what happens, you know?
Anyway, your Euro Trash, Adzi.
My Euro Trash also comes from the league that shall not be named, and more so the Spanish Super Cup being played in Saudi Arabia. I think it kind of desanitizes the game. You know what I mean? It's something that you don't really want to see. You know, Raul Garcia, who's playing for Athletic Bilbao, came out this week and said something that I completely agree with. So he goes, maybe I'm old school, but football has changed and the fans have been forgotten. It's kind of contradicts what you were saying, but whatever. Football now is all about making money and finding sponsors. We are forgetting the basics, the atmospheres, the families. I do that's it now. I do agree with Raul Garcia, I think.
So my Euro Treasure, Adzi, comes from a 5-1 Dortmund win versus Freiburg.
Ooh.
Dortmund back in the title race. I know I say that with hesitation because Bayern are going to win it, but they're 6 points behind now again. Erling Haaland with 2 goals, and I think Haaland's talked about, or he's touted greatly by he's scoring lots of goals again. But he's banging them in for Dortmund, another 5-1 win. And when they're with him, they look good.
Yeah, naturally enough, when you have one of the best players in the world coming into the fold, you're going to perform that bit better. And they definitely did miss him when he was gone. Yeah, he's such a great player. There's no other way to describe it. There's no sugarcoating it. He is one of the best players in the world at the minute. And yeah, I do think a move is probably on the cards in the summer. But my Euro treasure crown, I haven't looked too far and wide for this, but this is kind of fan service. I want to say this because one of our loyal listeners, Jer, is a big fan of Nani. And I mean the footballer now, not an elderly person. But he's a big fan of Nani.
I'm a big fan of his Manchester
Had to do it. Nani of Venezia came to Serie A last week, made the move from the MLS to Serie A. We all know how good Nani is. He's a very talented footballer. And comes in, he was on the pitch for 30 seconds and he made an assist. So it just shows the impact a player like him can have for a team like Venezia, who coming into the Serie A, they haven't been too good this season, but they are a decent team. You know what I mean? I do think they'll probably stay up. But the best thing about Venezia, man, is their jersey, their home kit, black, gold, green, and orange. Wow. Man, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable piece of kit. But yeah, my Euro treasure this week is Nani's assist for Venezia. Get it out. Get it out. Yeah, get it out this week. Thanks for all the shouts, as per usual. We really do appreciate it and all the interaction online. It really does. It's good for us. It makes us want to do the podcast, essentially. But yeah, get it out this week, Cran. We're going to go with something. What's the word? New Year's resolutions?
Oh, yeah.
But instead of resolutions, we're going to call it New Year's predictions. We're only going to do 3. Do you want to take the third one? Your first one?
I'll go with this. Do you know Vlahovic of Fiorentina knocking on 20 goals again this season after last season when he had 20 goals? I'm going to go for him to move to Arsenal. Might be a bold show.
Yeah, he's kind of playing a bit coy with them at the minute, isn't he? He's kind of playing hard to get. But yeah,
we all know how that feels.
A moment of silence for that.
Go on. You're true.
My first prediction, Cran, for 2022 is that West Ham United are going to get Champions League football.
Wow. Big show.
I really think they will, man. I'm looking at the table here. Play 22, 37 points. Arsenal play 20 on 35. Spurs have 4 games in hand and are 4 points behind West Ham. So I am a firm believer points on the board is better than games not played. So I do think that. I don't know. I just think West Ham are going to get Champions League football this year. I think the loss at home to Leeds yesterday is a bit sour. But it's a strange thing. That game yesterday was one of the first games I've watched where you literally cannot talk bad about either side because both sides played very well. I don't think either set of supporters would be too disappointed by it. But yeah, I think West Ham will be playing Champions League football this next season. Number 2, Cran, do you want to give me a second prediction for 2022?
My second prediction is Burnley to finish mid-table. I really do think the sign that Andy Carroll will galvanise Burnley into 11th or 10th position. They have 5 games in hand now. They have 21 games to turn the ship, Adzi. 21 games to turn around. And do you know what? They've had all the rest in the world. So I'm expecting Burnley to come out. And do you know what will be at the helm of it all? The man, the myth, the legend, Maxwell Cornet. I'm expecting big things from him when he comes back from AFCON. And look, you wouldn't be surprised to see Andy Carroll get a 10-goal season this season. I'm on crack.
I think we have to shout out Andy Carroll's 2 offside goals last week. But like, real quick, at home to Fulham, he scored 2 of the best goals that he probably ever scored in his life. One was an overhead kick, ruled out offside, and the second was a volley from about 30 yards out, and it went straight into the net. And again, he was offside. So, I'll be honest with you, Graham. I think the reason why all of Burnley's games are being postponed is because no one cares about Burnley. And I just think they're going to get relegated.
What a horrible thought.
You lost me at galvanised, I'll be honest. When you said galvanised, I can only think of the Chemical Brothers.
Oh, stop. Burnley going to do well this season. You heard it here first. You, Adzi.
If Andy Carrollman comes in and does well for Burnley, I'll take you out to dinner. I'll take you to a night name out.
Take out to dinner, baby.
Yeah, my second prediction for 2022 is that a League of Ireland club will successfully reach the group stage of a European competition.
I mean, it's not far out of the question. When you're talking about that, I presume you're just going to talk about Rovers, because I can't see any other team reaching it with their level of funding.
I think one of them, Derry have a lot of backing this season. And by the way, the League of Ireland's only around the corner. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. But Derry have a lot of backing. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure it's Derry's in Europe. I could be completely wrong here. But I think if Derry, with the backing that they have, I think they could potentially get to a group stage of a European competition. I think Rovers is set up as, you know what I mean? I think they have one of the best teams potentially in League of Ireland history, with the likes of Graham Borg, Dan O'Mandrew, Jack Bourne coming back. Whatever the European competition may be, I do think they'll be in the group stage of it come the new season. Fran, your final prediction for 2022.
The Qatar World Cup 2022, the USA will get to the semi-finals.
You've definitely just taken that out of your arse, have you?
Yeah, I did grab it out of my arse, but I do believe it. I do believe that they do have some good squad depth in there.
Do you know what I believe, Cram?
What?
I believe that we will win. I believe that.
What's the song that?
Oh, man, yeah, you set me up there, Grady. Thank you. But yeah, do you know what?
1, 2, 3, 4. Barbecue, barbecue, barbecue.
I think, you know what? I do think the Americans have got a good side, and even the young fella that plays for Dortmund, Gio Reyna.
Yeah,
he's an exceptional footballer as well. So
Winston McKennie.
Yeah, I mean, Winston McKennie, he's the image of the weekend, isn't he? Yeah, they could go far. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think they will, but they definitely have potential. And scrap the World Cup 2022 in my opinion. Get rid of Qatar. My final prediction for 2022, Cran, is another all-English final in the Champions League. It could be Liverpool and Man City in the final. And I've said on the podcast before, I have got money on Ajax to win it, but I think it's Man City. I think Man City are going to win Champions League this season. They're unstoppable. And I think Liverpool's European pedigree will probably get them to the final. And look, when you get to the final, it's anyone's game. I do think it'll be an all-English final. I do think it'll be Liverpool and Man City in the final. Champions League this year.
That's it, Adzi. We named them off the bat again.
Oh, yeah, so my three predictions is West Ham to get European football, a League of Ireland club to reach the group stage of a European competition, and Liverpool versus Man City in the Champions League final.
And my three predictions, a bit unrealistic. Vlahovic to Arsenal is number 3. Second is Burnley mid-table to finish, and Andy Carroll to get 10 goals. And then the first one is USA to the semi-finals of the World Series, baby. Anyway.
Let's play ball! Baseball!
This is football. No, it's not. It's baseball, man. Oh,
shout out for all our American listeners.
That's our get out for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to put your suggestions in the suggestion box on Instagram. So, Adzi, the end to another beautiful episode of the OnlyFans Football Podcast, brought to you by Zoom. Sadly, as I'm riddled. That's it. Thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to follow our TikTok. Adzi's posting regularly on there. Instagram, going well as well. Spotify, YouTube, Twitter. We're on it all. Give us a listen, give us a follow, give us a share.
Yeah, and just a final note. I hope everyone's keeping well. I know the January blues is kind of kicking in now, but we're nearly at February. It's been a tough time for a lot of people. And, you know, a lot of people find January a tough month to deal with. But, okay, if we can make one person smile by listening to the podcast, and that's our job done. Hope everyone stays well, stay safe. Tell your ma you love her. And, yeah, we'll leave it there, so.
We'll leave it there, so.